So here we are at the end of Survivor Kaoh Rong. The finale just happened. And, well, I was happy.
I was happy. It was a great finish. I have no regrets on who wins. She was very deserving.
Yeah.
Even though I predicted Aubrey, it's okay.
It's been a really interesting season. First of all, a very unpredictable season. It's really been tough to predict what's going to happen. And that's been great. It's also interesting that early on, some of my favorites, like Aubrey, that I wanted to win. I wanted Neil. He was out. There's a few others I wanted. They were out. And then Aubrey became one of my favorites for quite a while.
Yeah.
But slowly that changed. Like it's been a really odd season. Michelle, who won, woohoo! I was so happy. Michelle, I didn't like her at all at the beginning.
She didn't do much at the beginning.
No, not that she didn't do much. I didn't like her. Like, she was unlikable. By the end, I really liked her. She was somebody I not only just wanted her to win, I liked her as a person on the show and as a player. She started playing really,
She
really well.
definitely did come on at the end. She definitely not only started winning challenges, but started strategizing a whole lot more. Started teaming up with people. Started doing the social game so much more in the end, and that's what people remember. It's not what you did in the first half.
Yeah, and also, I mean, she was an underdog for a lot of it too, which is good because you tend to root for the underdog. You mentioned it's what you do at the end. Who was it? Was it Scott that asked that question of them, or who asked that question?
A couple of them had mentioned that.
But
that Ty started off really strong and went weak.
And then which is better? And I think it's always how you end.
That's right. It's the playoffs, baby.
Exactly. You can have a great first part of the season. Hey, we're from Toronto. The Leafs can have a great beginning of the season, and they have in the past. And as a fan, you're like, you don't get your hopes up because you know it's not how they start, because they always blow it at the end. It's how you finish. You're exactly right. Yeah. Oh well, let's go through some of the episode. We start off. The first note I made was Ty is right about the little things that can make people decide to vote you out. He woke up and Mark the chicken was crowing, and because he's become so associated with Ty, people might be annoyed at Ty because the chicken was keeping them awake.
I got to take Mark down to the end of the beach now. And
yeah. But he's right. It is. It's the tiniest things that you do that can piss people off and give them a reason to get rid of you.
Yes, and right then I said, I want a challenge, a reward challenge, because there's just 4 people left. And bam, right away, there it goes.
The reward
because
challenge.
It certainly looked like it was 2 and 2 at that point.
Yeah.
Aubrey and Ty were on one side.
Yes.
And you had Michelle and Sydney on the other side going. So I was interested to see who's going to take somebody on reward. And you kept saying, do you even want to win?
Yeah, you know what? You were right, though. You had said at this point, yes, and I think so. Earlier, when it's maybe a group of 5, 6, 7, 8 people, you've got to be very careful about winning the rewards, because as much as you might want them, as much as they would be good to go on and you might get fed, you really run the risk of alienating people. At this point, at 4, it is truly an individual game.
And Ty still didn't get it, even after the reward. When he didn't get chosen again, and it was down, and Michelle's going, okay, Ty, now do you see Aubrey's going to win the game? She's playing everybody. Now you got to come on my side.
Yeah.
He still doesn't do it.
Yep, exactly.
It comes to the immunity challenge, and he still doesn't.
That's right. They should have. Come on, Ty, go with Michelle. A couple episodes ago, same situation. They should have lined up.
Great reward challenge, or great immunity challenge, by the way.
The immunity challenge, yeah.
I love that challenge. It was hard.
And it was amazing. It was... Michelle was behind. And she came from
way
behind and won. And that was so good.
She's good at puzzles.
And you could feel the emotion of that win. Like, even though she didn't break down or anything, you could see in her face that this is the win that I did it. I made it.
Because she was going home,
final.
I think.
She would have gone home, for sure. Absolutely.
And I started liking Michelle back when she did that puzzle, the memory puzzle. And she looked at all those symbols and the numbers and got it in one take.
yeah.
And we came back, and that was impressive.
Yeah. It was interesting. Then we had the vote, which came down to a tie between Sydney and Aubrey. Ty could have made it easier and just voted out Aubrey.
Yep.
But I got to admit, it is fun to watch those fire challenges.
Yes. And we're yelling at it. I mean, we do fire challenges out in the wilderness. So we're all going, scrape more magnesium. Don't start too soon with the flints. Get a big pile of magnesium first. It'll make life easy.
Yeah.
They never do.
No. And so then, of course, we have Aubrey win. So now we've got a final 3 of...
So let me back up a second,
Yeah.
because when we were watching it after the challenge, and it looked on camera like, okay, everybody's voting out Aubrey. Yep, all 3 of them agree. Yep, and you were going, wow, this looks like it might be an easy one. And I wrote down, I still don't think Aubrey's going home. Even though everyone says they're voting for her, I still don't think she's going home, because Ty's too dumb to notice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But once that happened, though, we started looking at, okay, who's the odds-on favorite to win? I still wanted Michelle to win. I was worried about her chances, because at that point we thought, oh boy, this has to be a final 2.
Yes.
And it looked like it was going to be. They were
you
all
need
like,
9 juries.
yeah, is this going to be a final 2? Ty thought it was going to be a final 2. They go, no, it's not. Then they get the tree mail. And you go, oh boy, yes, it is a final 2. And that's where I was thinking, okay, Aubrey had the best chance of getting to the final 2. It was basically a 66% chance. If she won immunity, she'd get to go to final 2. If Ty won immunity, he would have taken Aubrey to final 2, and Aubrey would win the game.
Yes.
Turned out it wasn't going to be a final 2, and they got to play the challenge. What did they call it? A reward? Did they call it a reward? It was an odd challenge.
Yeah.
But they got to vote out a jury member.
Nice twist.
It was really cool. So then we wrote down all our...
It immediately got our wheels turning. Okay, if whoever wins, who are they going to vote out? If Ty wins, okay, who's he going to
Ty
vote
would have
out?
probably had to get rid of Scott if he had won. If Aubrey had won, she would have got rid of... What would we figured? Probably Julia.
I would have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But then Michelle won. Yippee for Michelle. And so she had a choice. And we were yelling at her for talking to the other people. Who do you think I should vote out? Who do you think I should vote out? Because we were worried that she would listen to them. Maybe she was smart enough
She was
to
smarter,
realize,
as it
okay, I
turns
want to
out.
see who they think. Yeah. And our immediate choice for her would have been Joe.
Joe or Neil, but Joe was the obvious one, because we
Joe
knew.
was very obvious, yeah.
But we were thinking, or at least I was thinking out loud, that, Joe is just, I'll do whatever Aubrey tells me to do. And Aubrey was trying to tell me to vote Michelle. So I was thinking, he might go, okay, I vote Michelle. There you go. And, right, wrong way.
Yeah. But she voted out Neil, which turned out to be a good move.
Very smart.
So that definitely eliminated one of Aubrey's votes. So then we were sitting there trying to figure out who's going to vote for who. And it was tough. I was pretty sure, based on the way the jury went, that Scott was going to vote Michelle. You could just tell his questions to Ty. Ty wasn't getting. And
But even in the preliminary, before anybody said anything, we were kind of thinking
he
that
was
we were
a probable Michelle, possible Ty, definitely not Aubrey.
we couldn't come up with a definite tie.
Yeah. For nobody. Jason was either Michelle or Ty. Not Aubrey. No way, Jason was voting Aubrey either.
I didn't think Jason was going to vote Ty. For no chance.
Well, but then his question left it ambiguous. We weren't totally sure on him. Debbie was going to be Aubrey because they were close earlier.
Yep.
Julia, very good chance. Michelle.
Yes.
Sydney, it was a choice between Michelle and Aubrey. Wasn't totally sure which way that would go until Sydney spoke, and then it was like, it sounds like she's voting Michelle. So that's where I gave a definite for that. Nick was either Michelle or Aubrey. He didn't say much except be smart, so it was hard to tell. Joe was a definite Aubrey. So we added it up, and there was 2 definite Aubreys, 3 definite Michelles. And I said she has a good chance. I mean, there's still the 2 that could go either way. But you still thought You still thought Aubrey would win.
I was still in that camp going, nobody's been able to get rid of Aubrey. I keep saying she's done, and then every time you think she's out, she's never done. So I just kept thinking she played everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to follow her, so I thought they might just at the end go, you know what, she did play a better game.
Yeah.
She did strategize better, so...
Michelle played really well.
I'm much happier to see Michelle win, by the way.
Which is odd. Like I said, about 6 episodes ago, I probably would have been going, I want Aubrey. But
just because I was rooting for the game itself, to go, can you not see Aubrey's the clear orchestrator here? Vote her out. She's the strong one. She's the one you got to worry about. And they just...
Yeah. But well done, Michelle. You went from being someone that I didn't like at the beginning to somebody that I thought was amazing and deserved to win. And great job.
And then they show the cast members there, on the stage or behind the scenes and everything. Kind of looked at each other and went, "Who are these people?" It's amazing when you see them. However long it is since they were out there.
They've been out. It's been probably over a year for them, I guess, because they shot this before the previous season that we saw. So it's been a long time waiting to find out what happened. Yeah, I was finding that too. Everybody looks great. I mean, when they're the reunion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to recognize them. And something about being out there on that show for that long, even though you look dirty and stuff, I think you actually look better in some ways. I don't know. It's natural look. Maybe I like the natural look. But yeah, an amazing season of Survivor. One that I couldn't predict that would have been this good.
I loved it for that fact. We didn't know from week to week. Normally, you kind of go, yeah, these people are going to go to the end now, and there were some neat twists. There were some neat evacuations to make things.
Yeah. Anything else on this season that
I'm amazed.
really liked,
I'm amazed that here we are, 32 seasons in, and it still has the appeal. It still is entertaining. It's fun to watch. There's always a few little twists here and there to keep you coming back, and yeah, definitely going to be watching next season.
Well, people always say, "Why do I watch Survivor? With the first couple of seasons, but why would I keep watching it?" It's like sports. It's not a show that gets tired. You don't watch a couple of seasons of football or hockey or baseball and go, I don't need to watch, whatever year they're in right now. I saw that a few years ago. It's how the game is played. You're watching the players and the game and how it's played, and that's what's exciting about this show. It's amazing. Now, in case anybody from CBS is watching, we are Canadians. We are not allowed to play Survivor because of these silly rules they have. There are a lot of other Canadians that want to play this. You need to do a Survivor Canucks versus Yanks season. That would be great. Then we could play and we would kick your butts. But yeah, great show. Anything else before we're done for this season?
Nope, I think that's a good way to wrap it.
All right. Survivor, whatever season's coming next, watch it. And then we'll be watching it for sure, so you can come back and watch us too.